we don't at all, at any level, like to encourage anybody to follow headlines as far
Never.
as our financial and retirement futures go. However, one of the headlines that we cannot ignore is where Social Security is headed. Now, I will say there's all different kinds of headlines about what's going to happen. Also, we are not here to fearmonger on any level. We're here to encourage and empower you with information about what you can do. Be proactive, not reactive.
Yes.
But with all that said, Mike, this is Mike Douglas, certified financial planner, Michigan's retirement coach. I'm Heather Branch, here to ask Mike the questions that we all have because of the headlines that we see. The internet clickbait, the financial 24-hour news cycle puts things in our head. So we want to clarify and help you really understand what's happening. What is undoubtedly happening, it's on, if you go look up your Social Security statement, there is a little disclosure on the statement now saying if nothing changes, Social Security will run out of money. I think that the current, did they have an actual date on the Social Security's statements, or they just say within a certain?
They said 2034 for a long time, and then they stopped sending out statements. Yeah, they stopped sending out statements.
You have to download it. It's digital. Yeah. It's digital. Well, apparently that date is getting less. It's coming down. We have less time, as it would turn out.
I remember when I first started in the industry, it was 2041.
Okay.
Like they were like, oh, and this is like 12 years ago.
Yeah.
12 years ago, they were saying 2041.
Well,
and then
in 12 years, it's come down almost a decade.
Yeah. And there was 2037, 2039, then 2037, then 35, then 34.
So this new report is warning that the program's trust fund will become insolvent by now 2032, which is 2 years earlier than previous predictions that most of us heard. If that happens, beneficiaries will face an immediate 24% cut in benefits. That is all if Congress fails to act, if Congress fails to do something.
Can we,
Mike,
real quick, before we go into that part?
Yeah.
This report is by the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget.
Which is the name of that committee is just
where the heck have they been? Is this a new committee?
Right. And also
a responsible federal budget?
What are you doing with your time? Because
I got this new report about Social Security. That's the least of our concerns. Like there's so many big issues with the responsible. But go ahead.
That's another podcast altogether.
Committee for Responsible Federal Budget.
Another conversation.
Tell me more.
Getting Mike fired up today, guys.
The heck are we doing?
So you and I do believe, we talked about this before, we just don't know what it's going to be. Congress is going to do something. They're not going to let Social Security become insolvent, but it will change how we get benefits. There are likely to be cuts in some way, shape, and form. What will that look like? We don't know. So in the meantime, let's talk about what we can do, because for a lot of people, Social Security is or will be their only form of guaranteed income. Pensions have, for a lot of people, gone away. So they have their savings, they have Social Security, maybe they've got dividend stocks, they have different ways, but Social Security is the one guaranteed income that they have. What can we do to help protect ourselves and replace the benefits if they are cut?
That's a great question. So there's, to your point of, is it actually going to run out of money? Well, no, because we've shown that we'll just print more and we will make it up somehow and we'll sell debt to somebody else. The biggest thing to know is that the largest voting demographic is senior citizens all the time.
Yep.
And especially if you look at people 50 plus, it's the lion's share of voters. So what politician wants to go out there in what is now 7 years and say, heads up, largest voting base we have, you're getting a 24% pay cut? That's a quick way, back to Kansas, right? Like you will not get reelected, you will not get voted back in, or you will lose the election. Yep. So they will do something, but the something will not be good for the economy as a whole. There's nothing they can do to fund this that they should have done years ago. One great point by David Friedberg, he was talking about the fact that they should have invested the money not in treasuries, because they took the Social Security fund over the last 50 years.
Yeah.
They bought treasuries from themselves,
Yeah.
which is, again, Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget. If you could weigh in on this.
If you're listening,
yeah, the OASDI,
please leave your thoughts in the comments section below.
Oh my God! Yeah, the fund bought treasuries from the government.
Yeah.
At a low fixed rate.
Yeah.
If they had instead invested it in the S&P 500, right, which would then just support the overall economy a whole lot, it would bump up the returns of the S&P 500, and there'd be way more money in this trust fund than what there is now. But that's history. It should have been done. Too late to apologize, right? Like, we got to go. So now we're 7 years out. They're going to do something. But I don't want to live my life trusting that the government will do right by me in a couple of years.
Oh, come on. Don't we all think that?
Now, again,
nobody.
Who can we put our trust in? The Committee for Responsible Federal Budget.
This
right?
is never going to die. This committee is on your it list. You want to know who these people are.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I'd like to see a job description. But at the end of the day, we have to live our life. We talk about this all the time. How do I deal with the fact that the Fed's cutting rates? How do I deal with the fact that the market can crash? How do I deal with the fact that inflation's high? How do I deal with taxes? How do I deal with all these things? Congress is going to Congress. Senate's going to Senate. White House is going to White House. We have to deal with what's left. Everything rolls downhill.
Yep.
So what do we do with it? Well, if I'm living my retirement life, we look back to what it was 45, 50 years ago. It was you get your Social Security and you get your pension and you live off of that.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't a whole lot of 401k action going on back in like 1980. It was growing and becoming a thing, but it wasn't the primary source.
It was mostly for super wealthy people. It was like a deferred income strategy for tax
benefits. Because they had extra income. Yeah, they had extra income.
Because they had so much extra money. They were like, let's do it. Let's put it over here. You don't have to pay taxes on it now. It was a tax strategy for the super wealthy originally. That's my understanding. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, and on top of that, if you were a pension employee, they would still do withdrawals from your paycheck, but it would go into your defined benefit plan, which would guarantee you a higher lifetime pension.
Okay.
So companies started transitioning like post 1980, moving forward into defined contribution plans, which says, all right, now I'm going to put in 3%, you put in 3%, and you're on the hook for your own retirement. Because in 1980, 40% of Americans had a lifetime pension. Today, it's less than 7%. So pensions are disappearing. But yet, when Social Security came in, they expected you to live about 2 years. And they're like, we'll cover you for 2 years. And now people are living longer and longer, working for their last company less and less, and leaving themselves in a position where I've had this idea of what retirement income looks like, but we really need about a 3 or 4 leg stool, not a single crutch. Social Security cannot be the single crutch you live on. You need your Social Security benefits. You need, if you're lucky enough to have a good pension that you trust, have a pension. If you have a dividend or preferred stock portfolio or an annuity, you just need multiple sources of income streams coming in, or real estate. If you have rentals that you like, there tends to be a shelf life on that. People don't want to do rentals past age 70 to 75 typically, but you need multiple sources. Why? Because if one gets cut, I can lean on the others. So don't let yourself be so singular focused that if they cut one leg of your stool by 24%, that the whole thing topples. We need good stability that says that we'll still be okay. So number one, build a multiple income stream retirement. Number two, you probably need to start getting tax smart with how you get your income. Okay. Because the way we take money, the accounts we pull from, the different types of investments will determine how you're taxed. And if you pull from your IRA, it may cause taxes on your Social Security. If you pull from municipal bonds, well, those are tax-free. I'm going to get interest from municipal bonds. So I'll do that instead. Right. But the interest from municipal bonds, which are tax-free, still count against your Social Security income for taxes. Okay. So that's something. And then we have all these different things that move and shake. Have a balanced portfolio, have an understanding of how taxes will affect you. You can't control Congress, but you can control how much you send to the IRS. There are ways to play the tax game and win.
Right.
The
Believe it
stronger,
or not, because how many people don't realize that there are ways to control your taxes in retirement? A lot of us just think we just got to take what we're given, take that
yeah.
slap in the face. You don't have to stand there and take it.
And we feel like the only way to dodge taxes is to be illegal or be ultra wealthy.
Right.
Right? Like that's what we think. The only way I can avoid these taxes is to either break the law
or have
or
$1 billion.
Be so wealthy that I can hire people to break the law for me. Right? Like that's what they think. But the reality is there are tax strategies that we use with people all the time. High net worth, lower net worth, doesn't matter. You still can choose, if you look at the next 25, 30 years of your life, here's what I'm expected to pay in taxes. Can I optimize it for my family, not for the government? So have that. I'd say the final thing is when you're creating your retirement paycheck, understand that you have to determine your comfort level with the risk inside of that. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of ways. I said there's multiple ways you can get it, right? But understand, like, so if you watch a real estate podcast, they're going to tell you get rentals. If you watch an insurance podcast, they're going to tell you get annuities. If you're going to watch a stock market or stock picker podcast and they're trying to sell you their stock picks, they're going to tell you use Wall Street. And I honestly think that none of them are wrong, but they're not all right either.
But they're just
right?
they're in their silo. That's why we talk about all the time how you're a certified financial planner and also you're an independent fiduciary retirement firm at LifePlan Financial Design. You're not working for a big bank. You are here to show people multitude of options that they might have.
Right. Well, I always laugh when like people say, "Can you believe this guy tried to sell me an annuity?" Be like, "Well, did you check his licenses? He's insurance licensed." Right. If I go to a Ford dealership and they say, "I think you should buy a Ford truck," I'm not like, "Why didn't you sell me a Chevy?"
How dare you? Yeah.
Right. Like, what are you talking? It's like that's who they work for.
Right. But
and that's okay.
Maybe they're not being a lot of people won't be clear. Some people won't be completely transparent at the beginning.
Right. And then when you do happen to find the mechanic who's truly transparent or the car salesman who's truly transparent, you go, "This is a diamond in the rough. I'll never go anywhere else." Why? Because that mechanic told me I didn't need to pay the extra fee. I should do this because it makes the most sense. Yeah. At that point, not only am I going to that mechanic, I'm taking my whole family with us, right? Yeah. Like that's what we do. Yeah. Financially, there are strategies, a lot of strategies, and most of them are pretty good. You got to figure out, do I want to go? I probably don't want to go all in on one or the other. What I need to do is balance them out, make it work for me and my family, and choose the one that I'm most comfortable with, because when the market crashes, and it will, when the market runs up, and it will, when inflation rises and inflation falls, when taxes go up, taxes go down, when Congresses, and when the committee for responsible financial budget tells us that there's problems ahead, I just want to know that my retirement is okay. That's what we do with a responsible plan. We go through and say, get multiple sources of income, know the tax consequences, and be okay with the risk aligned with every single choice you're making. If you can have those three things, you can live a good retirement life doing the things you want to do, and the world can't take it away from you.
Goals. What's Mike and his team? Goals of Mike and his team are to help you go through these things, figure out what your options are, and to present to you the multitude of options that you have available, not just in one silo of space. So as you see and hear news about Social Security or all the other things that we worry about how it could affect our retirement plan, rather than reacting to that, instead be proactive, figure out what your options are and how to implement them into a plan that works for you. MichigansRetirementCoach.com is our website and where you can start the conversation with Mike and his team, helping to get to work on income strategies for your future. We also have links posted in the show notes. Don't fall for clickbait. Don't fall for headlines. Don't let fear determine your future. Instead, be proactive, like I was saying. Mike and his team, they're here to help. So visit us at MichigansRetirementCoach.com.